welcome to Binging with Badness, the only podcast that wants Bad Bunny in the WWE Hall of Fame right now.
Right now?
Right now. You got the Canadian Destroyer. That was dope. My name is Mitchell McIntyre.
And I'm Vanessa Vogel.
And this is Men in Black 3. After being so thoroughly crushed by Men in Black 2,
yes,
I was not looking forward to this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what the plot was. I had no idea what was really, it was all about. I know it got middling reviews. Not as good as the first one, not as bad as the second one. And I was just... I wasn't worried, but I was just, prepared to be bummed out again. What about you?
Oh, yeah, no, I had no hopes for this thing.
And the first 30 minutes, give or take, they're kind of founded. But I will say, it got better. It got better.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, let's get into it proper. Men in Black 3. Stylized as Men in Black 3.
Yeah, we didn't pull any fancy crap.
Or Men in Black Cubed, if you will.
Really?
Yeah. Is a 2012 American science fiction action comedy directed by Barry Sonnenfeld and produced by Steven Spielberg, as were the other ones. This one is starring Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones, and Josh Brolin. It is also starring Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords as the main bad guy, Boris. And like the second one, has quite a few celebrity cameos.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll get to them when they show up. This is 15 years after the original Men in Black and 10 years after the first sequel. So basically, here is our rundown. There was a big bad guy named Boris the Animal. It's just Boris. He's got a thing against Kay for reasons that we will explain later. So we use some wibbly wobbly timey-wimey stuff and make it so Kay never existed. So Jay has to go back to 1969 and stop this whole thing before it happens. Fun fact, with a budget of over $215 million, this is one of the most expensive films ever made.
Did it make any money back?
And it is the most expensive comedy film ever made.
Oh.
Period.
Oh.
It was released May 25th, 2012 by Columbia Pictures and grossed $624 million worldwide, making it the 10th highest grossing film of 2012. Unadjusted for inflation, this is the highest grossing film in the series. And got solid reviews. But yeah, so this is better than the second one.
I guess what we're trying to say is much better. Yes.
Yeah. And I thought, I kind of thought this one, didn't fail, but, didn't do as well. Because they dropped the idea for a fourth sequel.
Oh.
And, yeah, and then they picked up a spin-off with Men in Black International. So I thought, oh, maybe this one kind of tanked. It didn't really. It was expensive, but, it did fairly well. Now, this is the franchise most famous for, a couple of years ago, there were leaked emails from Sony.
Oh?
Yeah. And it was between the people here at Sony, Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill. Because there was going to be a spin-off, sequel kind of thing between 21 Jump Street, the movie, and Men in Black. It was going to be called Men in Black 23, and Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum were going to be Men in Black. They said obviously it didn't happen because it was too complicated. But I don't think you realize I would kill and die to see that movie. Are you kidding?
Oh my god.
Phil Lord and Chris Miller doing a Men in Black film? I would love that. If you haven't seen 21 or 22 Jump Street because you thought it was like silly and like you didn't think it would be good, get on that shit right now. Yeah. Both of these movies are gold.
They are amazing.
It is the movie that made me love Channing Tatum.
And also, there are 34 sequels in the credits. There's like literally like trailers for what was it up to
32 Jump Street. It's
yeah.
a whole thing. So yeah, that this was almost a thing, and it wasn't. Channing Tatum was all for it. You can look it up online.
I didn't know that.
We almost had Men in Black 23. And
I would have watched the hell out of that.
I was gonna say this movie deals a lot in parallel timelines. I want to be in that timeline.
Yeah,
I'll bet you that timeline the pandemic never happened. Like that's the good, that's the good fucking timeline.
That movie prevented the pandemic.
Yes.
Oh, the before times.
Yeah,
those were good times. I think.
Maybe it just sounds like it was.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. So with that, let's get into the movie proper. What do you say?
All right.
Men in Black 3, curtain up. We begin with some lady walking down a kind of a prison hallway with very, very high heels that make my ankles hurt.
And impossible boots because the zipper's on the back of her thigh.
Yeah.
How the hell do you zip those up?
I think it's just for, like, looks.
I know, but she needs another person to zip those heels up. This is some men-based bullshit.
She's also doing that thing, like, when women, like, sexy women in movies walk in high heels. They do it, like, in a kind of, like, a crisscross sort of thing.
Yeah, it's weird, and women don't walk like that.
I was gonna say, that would be hell. Don't do that. She has a large cake.
That jiggles for some reason.
Yeah, and a tattoo of Boris on her back. I thought this was Boris. It's not. We play the Men in Black theme because this is over the credits, and if you remember, in the last 2 credits, we had, like, going through space or following a bug. This is not that at all.
Yeah.
And the theme song has a kick-ass guitar solo in it now.
So, that's cool. They got upgraded.
Aces.
Like that.
Boris the animal, or just Boris, as he wants to be called, is hanging out inside of a cell. And so the lady comes up, and they have the world's most disgusting tongue kiss.
Yeah. It's super gross.
Thanks, I hate it. I'm asexual now.
No!
They ask the guards to cut the cake because it's kind of a special day for them. So the one guy goes to stick his finger in it, the one guard, and Boris is like, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And he's like, bah! And he sticks his whole ass hand in it. And then a spider? An alien spider?
An alien spider. Gross, I hate it. Kill it.
Yeah, hops out and shoots him dead. It then pops into Boris's hand.
Yeah, his hand opens up like a goddamn flower.
It's gross.
And it crawls inside.
Like, it's a disturbing visual.
I should also mention Boris has one hand.
Yes, Boris does have one arm. That is a big deal in this movie.
He looks human, so his other arm is just a stump.
Yeah, he looks like Jermaine Clement. Yeah. Who is doing his best Tim Curry impression.
Right? I was sort of just like, what is this, Rocky Horror? What are you doing?
When you said that, and I went back to watch it, I was just like, that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, he's doing a Tim Curry impression.
Because he's doing
specifically from Rocky Horror.
He's doing the on every single syllable kind of thing. I see you shiver with anticipation.
Want to say your favorite quote from Tim Curry?
Actually makes sense. So they get out, they get some big weapons, and so they go. They basically break out of prison. So he opens an elevator, and there is just like 80 guards with guns. And they're like, hey, you're not leaving. There's too many of us. And he's like, you're right. Watch this. And he shoots a big hole into the side of the building. And everybody gets sucked out of the hole. Because we're going to the one place that hasn't been thrusted by capitalism. Space! We're on the moon. That's a prison on the moon. So Boris shoots out the wall, and all the bad guys get sucked up, including his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he, like, grabs her by the arm, and she's like, sorry, love, but we did have good times. And lets her go.
Yeah.
I don't know why he isn't, like, sucked. He doesn't hold on to anything.
Oh, because his gross spider feet grabbed onto the floor.
Oh, gross. I hate it. Thank you. What a bastard. And so he gets out onto the moon itself.
Yeah.
And he goes, let's rewrite history. Shall we, Kay? And the movie proper begins. And if you're wondering at home, is he going to do that accent every time he talks about Boris? Yes. J and K are neuroing an entire group of people. Apparently, some shit went down. We played this scene twice.
This is true. It appears to be a giant gong?
Yeah, it's
spacecraft?
Yeah. So Jay neuralizes a bunch of people, and he's like, hey, you know when you're on a plane, and they're like, turn off your cell phones. And you're like, I'm not turning off no damn cell phone. This is why you should. So, that kind of stuff.
I like how he was just like, this is your fault. This is you.
Yeah, this is you. Congratulations.
Like, what did you neuralize here, Jay? Like, you didn't give him a replacement memory. You just...
That's true, and he doesn't, like... I don't think throughout this movie he does.
Yeah.
So, Jay keeps talking to Kay, and he's like, are you going to run your speech by me? And Kay's like, no, man, I got it. And Jay is like, are you sure? This is a big deal. Like, this is a man's eulogy. And they're like, no, it'll be fine. He goes, are you sure? Because you don't have any, like, emotion whatsoever. Kay's like, no, it'll be good. This is good. I've known Zed for 40 years. I know what to say to him. Zed has died. This is due to Rip Torn. They wrote out his character, and it's the end of Zed, and it's the incoming of Agent O, played by Emma Thompson of all people.
Hey, what up, girl?
Hi. So at the funeral, Kay gives a speech. They kind of play this for laughs when I don't think they should.
No, not really.
So Kay goes up and he says, basically, Zed never talked about his home life, never talked about his family. I know nothing about him. And we weren't that close friends. Thank you. And he sits down, and Jay was like, what the fuck? And Kay was like, yeah, that was a good one.
He was a good man, yeah.
He was a good man. So O steps up and is like, hey, I'm taking over for Zed's position. And she's like, I remember when we talked to an intergalactic being who said of Zed, and she just likes like weird mouth noises. Like screeching noises.
Yeah, she's clearly saying it in the alien language.
Yeah.
And like, guys, we have translators specifically for this.
And it's obviously like the joke is haha, it's just random screeching. But it's weird, like, okay.
Yeah.
We're getting out of here.
Guys, a real man died. Like, okay.
So, and we get out of that scene quick.
Yeah.
This whole like Zed's funeral lasts maybe 2 minutes.
That's true. It's to explain why
Zed isn't here and Emma Thompson is.
Yes. And why Agent O is in charge now.
Yeah. So we get to we go back into the car, and Jay looks to Kay and he goes, "Hey, if I ever go before you, I want you to promise me you're going to do a better job at my funeral than you did at his. Like, oh, he was my partner, he was my best friend, we loved sharing moments with each other, something like that. Because, you know, he's an emotionless husk. And Kay goes, you know why I live such a happy life? And Jay goes, you live a happy life? He goes, because I don't ask questions I don't want the answer to. This is a phrase that will be oft repeated. Meanwhile, Boris goes to Best Buy and talks to some guy for a time travel thing. And goes back to... His idea is to go back in time to kill Kay before Kay takes his arm. And arrests him, obviously.
And sends him to Lunar Max.
Yeah. So Jay and Kay go to a Chinese restaurant where there's a complaint of intestinal alien worms. Gross.
Sure.
So they go in. I was worried we were going to get a little racist. And we are a little bit.
Yeah.
But the actors are Chinese. And they do the thing where, like, Chinese people really put on the thick, like, Chinese accent.
Yeah.
And then stop and then speak in, like, a normal, like, American accent.
Yeah.
And, like, that's supposed to be the joke. Cute. This is your domain?
Not great. I'm sure it was funny at the time or whatever.
Yeah.
But not a fan. Like, clearly he's an alien and he's pretending to be Chinese.
Yeah. Actually, at one point, they go back and they are selling alien meat as food. Like, alien animals and alien fish as food.
And one of them's actually just a blobfish.
Yeah,
like, that's Earthian. Like, that thing comes from our sea.
But it talks.
Look, have you seen a blobfish? I expect that thing to talk.
Yeah. And, you know, the guy, his name is Wu. And Wu was like, what? That's a real thing. That's an ancient Chinese delicacy. And Kay rips off his head and he goes, you're not even Chinese. Kay is upset.
Well, okay, I have a question.
What's that?
During that whole scene, there's a baby in a pot, right?
Yeah.
Surrounded by vegetables. Was that one of his children?
Presumably.
So Kay was beating a man with his own child?
I think so.
Okay, I was uncomfortable with that. Like, yeah, okay, this is supposed to be like that time he shook down a dog.
Yeah.
And that was funny. Because...
I don't think that's what this was.
Yeah.
I don't think this one's not played for comedy. Because you can see it on... So basically what happens is Kay gets, like, really angry. Starts threatening with guns, which is not, you know, beyond his...
I mean, he did it with Tony Shalhoub, so whatever.
So he picks up this little fish. We don't know. We don't really know.
But it's cute, and it's a baby.
And he beats Wu about the head and neck.
With the baby!
With the baby, like, over and over and over again. And it's not like with Frank, where he's just, like, throwing the dog around. And Jay's like, oh, come on. Oh, man. Okay. Jay, like, has a look on his face like, whoa, this is not good.
I would like to point out the fake alien baby is okay at the end of this scene.
Yep.
Apparently, the weird worm people have weirdly strong skin.
Yeah.
It's just kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah. So they get a plate of shrimp and bok choy and sit down. They said, we're going to be here for a while.
There's an eyeball in it.
There's an eyeball in it. So they sit, and Jay's just like, hey, what was that? And Kay is like, me and my dad used to play a game together. Talking about what our final meal is going to be. And he goes, you can do worse than this. And he points to what he's eating. And Jay goes, you know, me and my dad used to play a game too. It was called Catch.
But it was mostly just me throwing a ball against the wall. He wasn't around much.
And so Kay's looking around and he goes,
Will Smith is just, you know, doing the Will Smith thing where he just continually
talks.
talks.
We just kind of talks and rambles. Kay notices that not only is there several aliens around them, because that man's on his fourth bowl of duck sauce, O calls them, and she's like, hey, we got an issue. And he goes, yeah, Boris the alien has escaped from Lunar Max prison. And she's like, yeah. And there's so-and-so here, and these guys over here at this particular location. And she's like, yeah. He goes, excellent. See you in a bit. He goes, okay. I'll take those two. You take the one on the left. Okay. So we kick over a table and we start a shooting.
Presumably the poor hostess lady behind the bar was human because she starts screaming bloody murder.
She was not human. She had a like a frog tongue.
Did she have a frog tongue?
Yeah. At one point, so Jay's standing up and shooting. Like he runs back behind her and he's like, "Keep your head down." And he stands up, bam, 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 goes over the table, and she like fling to the gun.
Then what the hell was up with all the screaming, lady?
Well, guns are worrying for any species.
I know, but she saw aliens and she started screaming.
It was more the fact that she didn't expect violence. So Kay, as this whole shooting thing goes on, Kay goes up to the top of the building looking for Boris. And Boris has been angsty about the fact that Kay blew his arm off since it happened. According to Kay, Boris is the last of his kind. He is an alien kind of assassin. And he's pissed off about that.
Yeah, that sucks.
He says something that's like, you blew off my arm. And he's like, yeah, you know what? You're still kind of living in the past. I can't be healthy for it. So Boris takes out his gun and goes to shoot. And at that moment, Jay opens the door. He's like, hey, what's going on? So they shoot the door. So they use the door as a shield and walk backwards off a building. And they use the door as a kind of stop to bang against the two buildings next to each other to slow their fall.
We should also mention that Boris shoots with gross nail.
Yeah, he doesn't shoot with a gun. He shoots that spider in his hand.
Throws like giant
deadly
nails.
Yeah, deadly like thorns.
Yeah.
That shoot and kill. Wu was killed. In Fracka.
I still don't understand why, but
you gotta kill everybody.
Alright.
So they go down and they land at the bottom. And Boris kind of like stands up and he goes, okay, you're already dead. And he's like, okie dokie. And Kay is like, putting Boris in prison was the worst mistake I ever made. And Jay was like, why? Was he innocent? He goes, no, I should have killed him. And Jay's like, all right, so what's going on? He goes, there are some things in this world you don't need to know. He goes, that's not what you told me when you recruited me. And he goes, yeah, there's just some things you're not going to need to know and you're going to need to drop it. And Jay's like, no, you're going to tell me what's going on. Like, we're equal partners. I'm a senior agent. You know, it's not like Men in Black 1. And Kay then suspends him for a month. He can't do that, but
yeah,
he does.
Jerk.
So Jay goes to look at Boris's file at MIB, and specifically his interaction with Kay. But he gets restricted, even though he has top clearance. He mentions his clearance, he mentions his name tag, and he gets barred from it. And O kind of stands up and sees what's going on and calls him to his office.
I should point out that the headquarters got a revamp.
Yeah, it's like...
It looks like an Apple store mixed with a series of bubbles.
Yeah, so like we said, the first two are basically an airport.
Yeah.
Which I think is still the function of MIB, but it doesn't look like it anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't look like an airport. It looks like an Apple store.
Yeah.
Like, on the plus side, Burger King and Sprint are gone.
Yeah, that's true.
On the downside, you don't have, like, the counters of checking in aliens.
We spend very, very little time at MIB.
We do. Regrettably, but...
Yeah.
But, like, it's weirdly shiny. O's office doesn't look nice because it just looks like a bubble on a stick.
I was gonna say, it looks too much like... all the walls are glass. It looks modern for the sake of modernity.
Yeah, it's not great. But... what do I know?
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, O talks to Jay, and he's like, yeah, what's all this about? And he goes, look, Kay and I go back a long way. And there are some things, like, you're going to ask that he's just not going to answer because they're above your pay grade. And Jay goes, then I want a raise. Because, like, I got to know about these things. And so she goes, look, take the rest of the day off, and just drop it. This is too big for you. So we cut to Jay at home, for the first time, like,
Yeah,
ever.
He has an apartment.
He has an apartment. He's playing his PlayStation 5, I imagine, even though it's 2012. And he's got, for some reason, a gigantic painting of Frank the Pug.
Yeah, behind him.
Why?
$20 says Frank gave it to him, and he didn't know where else to put it.
I will say that even though, like, Frank is a main character in the sequel, he is nowhere to be seen in this movie.
Because...
Thank Christ for that.
He wasn't good, guys! And also, we basically never see those worm aliens, so that's great.
We see them once, and they sing at Zed's funeral.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is just a little quick joke. All right,
which is the purpose of them. They were there to be all like, look, aliens are making coffee.
Yeah. So Jay's at home, and Kay calls him at his home and kind of like apologizes. And Kay says, "Do you know what the most destructive thing in this universe is?" And Jay goes, "Sugar?" He goes, "No, it's regret." And Kay says, "I promise you the secrets of the universe and nothing more." And Jay says, "So there are secrets that the universe doesn't know?" And Kay's like, "It's all I can tell you." And Jay hangs up on him. So we flash back to Kay's home, Kay's little apartment. He hits a button, and a whole wall opens up, and there's just guns.
Yeah, I guess he got that apartment back from...
I think it's a different apartment. And
so, you know, I imagine he has many apartments all over New York.
I do too.
Where he just has a gun safe.
So he gets up, grabs like a space shotgun, sits down in his chair, points it at the door, and just like sits there for a bit. And is eventually enveloped by like space magic.
Yeah.
Like you see him and there's like whoomp.
Yeah, like he just kind of condenses down into a ball and disappears.
Yeah. And the room begins to change. To just like a regular apartment. We flash out and all of New York changes. Even Jay stands up and has this weird like...
He's not feeling what great.
Yeah. He recognizes something has changed. And it bugs him. So Jay goes to Kay's apartment, K5. And there's just like a family there.
Yeah, there's a woman and her kids living in that apartment.
And Jay's like, "Hey, is there Kay here?" He's like, "That K5." Like, cool. And she's holding a baby. He goes, Is that chocolate milk? Do you mind? And he takes it and he starts drinking the kid's chocolate milk. And the kid goes, "Mommy, the president is drinking my chocolate milk. He didn't even ask."
He didn't even say please.
He didn't even say please. So Jay gives it back and he goes to MIB.
Which is pretty cute.
It's funny. He goes into the hallway and there's always a guy sitting in the hallway. It's like an older black man.
Yeah.
Now it's some white guy.
Yeah, and I was upset. Where is my sarcastic black man?
Yeah. And he goes, "Hey, did Kay come in yet?" And he goes, "Who is that?" Okay, very funny. He gets into the elevator, and somebody else, like another agent, slips by. And it's Will Arnett.
Yeah, what are you doing here, buddy?
And he's like, "Yeah, you were right, man. You know, I had this whole thing. I think a lot of my rage comes from my stepmother. And, we talked to each other, and, it was this whole thing." And Jay is like, you're a little close. You're a little, can you back up?" He goes, if you keep talking to me, I'm going to have to bust you in your throat. Like, he keeps, like, talking like they know each other. So they get to the bottom floor, and Jay is like, "Who the fuck was that guy?" And he goes, "That's Agent AA. Your partner?" He goes, "Yeah, no, can somebody give me a chocolate milk? And where is Kay?" And he's just like, "Hey!" It's like, there is no Agent K. What are you talking about? It was okay, very funny. I get it. You guys are playing a joke. It's weird that all of you did this. 14 years later, y'all develop a sense of humor. Where is Kay? And O comes down and she's like, "What are you yelling about? There is no Agent K." And he's like, "Yeah, there is. Here's my partner." She's like, "Agent K, come with me. I'll show you." And we go to this like Hall of Fallen Heroes.
Yeah. And it's all the same bust of the same dude.
Yeah, because nobody has a personality or shape.
Yeah.
And there's one, Agent K. K has been dead for 40 years. And he's like, "There's no way you knew who K was." And O doesn't believe him until Jay reveals all the things he knows about Kay. It's like Aqua Velva aftershave. We have spent hours and hours in a stakeout in the car. Of course I remember him. He drinks the same cup of coffee every day, even though it's terrible. And he goes, Slick, this coffee's terrible. But I don't know what I expected. And Jay goes, because the beans were just ground this morning. And O goes, that's the exact same thing we say. Tell me something. How long have you had a craving for chocolate milk? And he goes, like, since this morning. Do you have a headache? Yeah. Anxiety? Depression? He goes, hell yeah. He goes, oh, for God's sake. It goes, either you've been bitten by an intergalactic space beetle and you're about to die a very painful death, or something worse. And she slaps Jay. He goes, hey! He goes, damn it, it's not the beetle. She goes, damn it, it's not the beetle? So, here's the problem. Time travel is illegal.
Yeah. I would imagine so. Like, you gotta keep the time stream, so that way you can keep everything straight,
exactly.
right?
And it's illegal intergalactically. Everybody's agreed. But when this happens, there's like a fissure in the time-space continuum. And the fact that Jay is feeling all of this means, A, he's the only one who recognizes it and realizes it, and B, something's wrong. Usually means because he was there whenever this happened. So he's like, okay, well that sucks. And then Boris's alien race shows up at Earth. And they're like, we're gonna shoot you.
And they're just like the fucking Leviathans from Mass Effect.
Yeah, there's tons of them. And Jay is just like, well, that's fine. We have the Ark, which is the Ark net, which is a big shield.
Yeah.
That's what Kay used the first time to stop Boris and his aliens. And he goes, that's okay, we'll just use the Ark net. They can't get at us. She's like, what the hell is the Ark net? So they're all here and they're coming to blow up Earth. Goes, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to the guys who invented this time jump, his son. And you're going to go back there and you're going to find Kay. Well, more likely you're going to go kill Boris. Do not touch Kay. Find him, kill Boris. We stop this where it lands. Chill. So we go to... by the way, Tommy Lee Jones is no longer in this film.
That's true.
That's like the end. We see him one more scene.
Yeah. At
the very, very end of the film. Spoiler alert.
And that's it.
And that's the end of Tommy Lee Jones.
Can he not be bothered to do these movies?
I don't know. It's really strange. He is getting older. You want to know something that's really gonna like bum you out?
What's that?
Will Smith was as old in Men in Black 3 as Tommy Lee Jones was in Men in Black 1.
What?
Yep.
What? Well, he doesn't age for shit.
No, right?
What is his secret? Is he a vampire?
No, black don't crack. So Jay goes to the guy who sold Boris the jump. And Jay wants to go to the time before the incident because he plans on killing Boris before any of this happens.
Woo!
But in order to do that, this is a time jump. So you have to jump off a building. You need to basically hit terminal velocity and hit a button. There's a whole, like, comedy sketch between these two.
Yeah.
It's not very funny.
There is a useless 10 minutes of our lives where they recap everything you just saw in this movie.
Yeah. It's not...
For no reason.
It's not great. But it happens, so here we are.
Oh, this could have been 10 minutes shorter.
Yeah. So Jay goes through the jump. He crosses the thing. And they do a thing where, like, you go through, like, all the way through time, like, backwards.
Yeah.
So you start in the dinosaurs, and you go all the way through. He sees newspapers and stuff, and about, the market crash and world wars and this kind of thing. So he stops, and he lands in 1969. He can't lose this device, because if he does, he's stuck here. And as they put it, 1969 is not a great time for people like you. And I thought we were really going to get into the racism angle. And we barely touch it.
I was about to say, it's here for 15 minutes and then we get over it.
And I like, I kind of appreciate that because, like, it's a comedy. You can't really bring a whole lot of comedy out of racism.
No.
Unless you're Mel Brooks.
Oh,
But
yeah. That's fair.
So yeah, they do that. They they touch on it a little bit.
There's a guy in the elevator who is just uncomfortable with the fact that Will Smith is in the elevator.
So Jay goes to the inside, goes to the elevator. He goes, "Hey, what day is it?" And he's like, "The 9th." He goes, "No, like what's the date?" "July." "No, man, the year. It's 1969." He goes, "Thank you, God. You're looking at me like I'm crazy." So Jay kind of goes down and walks, and everybody's wearing hats, and it's 1969. There's some guy who's like a dick to his wife.
No, it was the valet for...
Valet, yeah.
Yeah, be nice to your valets.
Anyway, we steal his car.
Yeah, because he's just like, "Hi, I'm here to repark your car," and he doesn't question it. I guess because he's black or whatever.
Yeah, well, he kind of does. He's like, "But there's more luggage in the trunk." He goes, "It'll be in your room."
Bye.
He drives away, and they kind of chase him.
I really thought this was going to be Kay's car from the first movie.
I thought so too, but not even close.
Nope.
So the soundtrack has now changed into a very like 60s-esque psychedelic rock, acid rock kind of thing. I don't hate it. Cut to Coney Island, where all this kind of goes down. Boris is masquerading as a biker. Okie dokie. They do the like, "Hey, make love, not war, man." And he's like, "Nah, I choose to do both. Nah. And they're just like, "Far out, bro."
Was Tim Curry unavailable for this movie?
Well, unfortunately, Tim Curry can't do much right now. He had a stroke.
Yeah, but it's Tim Curry. He could power through.
Yeah, right? As Jay drives towards Coney Island, he goes, "No, really, where did you get that?" And he goes, "I stole them. I stole the car from your mom and the suit from your grandma." And so they haul him out of the car, and they like slam him down on the car. And he goes, "Hey, leave me alone. This is his grandmother's suit." They look through his pockets, and obviously he's got a neuralizer, and he's got a gun, that kind of thing. And so he goes, "No, don't take that out, and definitely don't press the buttons on the side firmly." And they neuralize themselves. It's like, "Okay, thank you." Jay makes it to Coney Island, where Boris has just killed some poor fortune teller alien guy. And he's like, he runs up with his gun and he stops him. And Jay gets a gun to the side of the head. And he goes, "We'll take it from here, Slick." And turns around, and it's Josh Brolin.
Young Kay.
"Hi, Josh Brolin." And Jay goes, "Kay? Oh, man." And he goes to hug him, and Kay tasers him right in the neck until he passes out. Jay wakes up at MIB by way of Mad Men. And Jay wakes up, and he's like, "Hey, you got to turn the electricity on that thing down, because damn."
Also, I guess MIB was a police station back in 1969, because there's an alien behind him asking to post bail.
Yeah.
Like,
"Mom, I'm on Earth. I need bail."
So I guess it wasn't always an airport. I guess in 1969 it was briefly a police station.
Yeah, it's more of a like a cop show, detective noir police station. So Kay starts interrogating Jay because he knows his name. He's like, "That's weird. You're also wearing a suit. You got these weapons. That's messed up." And I will say, like, Josh Brolin plays Kay the entire film, basically. And he has Tommy Lee Jones's mannerisms down to a T.
Yeah, he has it to a science.
Like, he is perfect. I would be... If you told me that was, like, him when he was younger, I'd have absolutely believed it. So Kay tries to get all this information out of Jay, and Jay's just kind of, like, mumbling the whole time. And Kay goes, "Okay, there's only one thing we need to do now. An eye exam." So they hook Jay up to a neuralizer. What's that? Hook up to a neuralizer? So a neuralizer is essentially a giant MRI machine.
Well, it's 1969, right? I guess we hadn't perfected pocket.
Like, it's
stuff.
diesel powered. It's like, you gotta hook him up to it and run him through a whole
And
thing.
spin it.
It's horrifying.
Imagine if there was a crowd, you just gotta, like, line them up all in the thing. Or you just let the people...
Well, they do have a portable neuralizer.
Yeah, but it takes like 20 minutes to fire.
Yeah. We'll get to it. Jay desperately tries to tell Kay what he knows. Mm-hmm. Like, at this point, he needs, like, all the information. So he lets him know, I'm an agent from the future. Mm-hmm. I know what's going on. Boris is here. Mm-hmm. We have to get rid of him. Mm-hmm. And Kay doesn't believe him at all, because why would you? So as the neuralizing is about to finish, Jay says, just promise me something. When you see Boris, kill him. Do not arrest him. Mm-hmm. And then Kay kind of stops it. He hauls him out. And he's like, okay. And he gives him like a fake memory. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I'm gonna walk him to where he needs to go. Mm-hmm. And he tries to get information out of Jay, like what exactly he knows. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm from the future. I'm an agent of MIB. I'm actually your partner. Something happens. Mm-hmm. Here's where this whole thing goes down. We got to stop it before anything else happens. And Kay looks at him and he goes, okay. And Jay's just like, all right. Jay and Gay, what's that?
We should mention that past O is a secretary in the past.
Yes. You're right. I'm sorry.
Which is some nonsense, but it's 1969. Still nonsense, but it's accurate nonsense.
Yeah. So,
did you see a single black person working in MIB in 1969?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Like, are we going to uphold the racism back here? Oh, we are. All right.
A little bit. So yeah, O comes up and talks to Kay, and then kind of like, it's like flirty chatter for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And Jay is like, really? Interesting.
How come it's Kay who always has the love interest?
It's weird, right? Well, no, Jay had a love interest in...
Yeah, but it didn't make any fucking sense. It
was
honestly just sort of slapped on there.
It really was, wasn't it? That was supposed to be like the main plot of the movie, and they didn't like mess with it at all.
It's not good. It felt like I was watching placeholders. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. So Jay and Kay get into the car, and Kay's like, all right, Slick, where are we going? And Jay's like, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? He goes, I don't know. Just go where you went today. He goes, I haven't gone anywhere today. I don't know where I'm going to go. And I'm like, okay, well, we got to figure out where we're going because we got 19 hours before this whole thing goes down, or else we all die. So one of the guys had a matchbook on him.
Yeah, it was the guy who got killed. The guy who pretends to be Houdini at the
yeah, exactly.
fair.
And he's like, okay, we got this. He goes, you know what this is? He goes, a matchbook? He goes, no, it's a clue. He doesn't smoke. So that matchbook leads us to a bowling alley. Back when you could give out matchbooks for shit like that.
It was 1969.
Yeah, right? Kay handcuffs Jay to the car. And he's like, okay, I'm going to go in here. And he goes, whoa, hey. He goes, it's okay. We'll be out here in a second. We walk in, and two of the most obvious aliens I've ever seen.
Yeah, one guy had... Now, I'm going to say no neck, and you're going to think, oh, he was just kind of round and cartoon-like. No, there was a head, there was a body, and there was nothing connecting
There was no neck.
No. It was a circle sitting on another circle.
So they kind of walk, and they're two very, like, New York stereotypes.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing here? Coming into my fucking bowling alley. That's more, what's it? That's more, Iron Sheik.
Is that? Oh, yeah.
Fuck the bowling!
No, were they supposed to be Italian stereotypes?
Yeah, like Italian New York.
Just, what are you doing here?
So Kay...
So if we're going to be offensive to nationalities, we're going to try and nail as
Gotta
many...
catch them all. So they all pull guns on each other. Mm-hmm. And Kay's like, well, looks like we got ourselves a standoff. And in comes Jay with another gun. He's like, hey, you keep the tray under the ashtray. You haven't changed in 40 years.
The key under the ashtray, cutie.
Did I say tray?
Yeah, you said the tray under the ashtray.
You keep the key under the ashtray. Take two. Yeah, so they get those guys, and they try to interrogate information out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they take the one guy who's got no neck. They take his head off his shoulders because he's a robot, I guess.
Or an alien that's sitting in another alien.
Could be, yeah.
There was holes where his head were.
Yeah.
And so his little spikes could go in. It's very weird.
And he's like, hey, Slick, you go bowling in the future? And he goes, yep, MIB League champion 3 years in a row. And they start bowling with his head. He shoots a 7-10 split. So they go, and then, they rough up his head like that. And eventually he spills the information.
Yeah.
Kay refuses to give Jay back his gun. Mm-hmm. Kay has all of his stuff. And he goes, no, I need something for protection. And he goes, and you know what? Technically, I'm technically the superior officer. I'm the senior officer. I've been here 14 years. So I don't mean to pull rank on you, but I need my gun. So Kay hands him like a 6-shooter revolver. And he goes, no, Kay, space gun. Kay, space gun. So they have to go to a place called the Factory, which is like it's a party, and it's like a loft where like artsy-fartsy model types hang out.
Yeah, Jay makes a comment, be like, it was 3 years in MIB before I realized all the models were aliens.
Or all models were aliens. Which is pretty funny. So yeah, they go inside, and they just kind of like look around, and they find Andy Warhol.
Yeah, okay, so imagine a party if peak Lady Gaga was throwing a party.
Yeah.
Like, there's weird things are happening. People are in spacesuits. There's unconventional music, let's call it. The lights are weird. It's fun.
It's fun. It looks amusing. So they go up to Andy Warhol, who is played by Bill Hader.
I thought I recognized
which
him.
is perfect. I love Bill Hader. He's putting on his like Stefan voice. The Factory has everything.
Did Andy Warhol talk like that? Do we know?
We do know, and I don't think so. He's kind of got the same like, and he goes, Andy Warhol. He's like I said, he's talking like Stefan. Mm-hmm. He goes, the most hip club in New York is called the Factory. It's got everything. It's got a broken glass room. It's got. I love the Stefan character. It's genius.
So we haul Andy Warhol to a back room. I
yeah,
guess?
we kind of like a dressing room, and Andy Warhol takes off his wig, and he goes, "Kay, what the hell are we doing here? Are you trying to blow my cover?" And Jay's like, "Whoa!"
Because Jay thought he was an alien.
Yeah, this is Agent W. He's a member of the MIB. And he goes, "These people are crazy. I'm painting like pictures of soup cans and tomatoes and stuff, and they love it. I don't get it." And Jay is like, "Oh, I hate to interrupt, but like, I'm a real big fan of all your work." And he goes, "Oh, really? Thanks. I didn't know, realize we had such big idiots in MIB." He goes, "Hey, listen, I don't want to have to, but I will absolutely pimp slap the shiznit out of Andy Warhol." So Andy Warhol tells him about a guy named Griffin. Mm-hmm. Griffin is in possession of the ArcNet. Mm-hmm. Aces. And at one point, like, he's trying to keep up his appearance. Mm-hmm. And he goes, it's like, "Andy, they need you out here." He goes, yeah, I'm just shooting a movie with this guy eating a hamburger. It's going to be transcendent. I don't know.
And now, the pickle.
Because, have you ever seen Andy Warhol eating a hamburger?
No.
That's a real movie.
Really?
Andy Warhol directed films. And they were all really artsy. There's one where it's a man eating a hamburger. Uh-huh. There's one where it's called Empire, and it's the Empire State Building for 6 hours. There's one called Blowjob. Guess what that one's about?
Nope.
Yeah, Andy Warhol did this all the time.
He was a weirdo, huh?
Yeah. So that's why it's like, filming a man eating a hamburger. That's good comedy.
And then he's just like, "Dude, you have to fake my death. I can't keep doing this.
I can't keep doing this. I gotta get out of here. You gotta fake my death." So Griffin is a little bit nutty. Yeah. Because he can see every timeline at once.
Mm-hmm.
So we see him, and he's like, "Hey, I knew you'd come talk to me." And this is the timeline in which she bumps into that guy, spills her food, and he slaps him. And you see it, and it bumped in, and it slaps him. Goes, "Oh, yep, there we go."
Now suddenly, then he falls to the table. In which case, I really need to move my plate.
Yeah, and then he picks up the plate. Hey, all right. He's kind of endearing.
Yeah,
but he's also very like exhausting.
Well, it's nice to have someone who can see the future who isn't insane. You know,
that is true.
Because every other fortune teller is usually either jaded or insane.
True.
So
he says, "Yeah, I have the ArcNet, but you have to. Yeah, you got to find me. Basically, it's a miracle this whole thing exists. Find me where miracles happen, or something like that. Because right now, Boris is about to break through that thing, and he stops and he goes, "Oh, this is the timeline where Boris breaks through the front door. Clarissa." And he turns, and she gets like a needle through the throat. And she's like, "Oh, fuck, okay, everybody run."
Oh, we should also mention, before Boris breaks into the room, he was like, "Show me your watch." And he asked Jay, "Show me your watch." And he's just like, "My watch? What do you want that?" "No, not the one on your wrist, the one your dad gave you."
Yeah, the one your father gave you. And so he goes, "How do you know about the watch my dad gave me?" And he pulls it out, and it's a little pocket watch. Griffin seems to recognize it, which is...
And he's like, "Oh shit, it's this timeline."
Yeah! What do you mean it's this timeline?
Which, in retrospect, I know exactly what he means.
I was going to say, like, he seems to think we're on a different timeline. Because throughout this movie, he says stuff like, "Oh, it's this timeline. I could never bear to watch this part."
Well,
okay.
The thing of it is, when you see history unfolding... when you know the way it could branch off.
Yeah, that's true.
You need, like, basically stop signs to tell you which timeline you're in.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's endearing.
So Boris comes in, wreaks havoc, looks for Griffin, and they run out, and they kind of chase him through the streets. Jay does that thing where he jumps up onto a car and shoots from it, like he's done in the 2 movies he's been in so far. But the car drives out from under him like an asshole. So Jay hits the ground hard, and Boris gets off and away. And he goes, "Damn it, we gotta get out of him." And he goes, Kay goes, "I think we're thinking too hard. We need pie." Excuse me? And pie's been kind of a running gag through these movies.
Was it in the first movie?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And so he goes, "My grandpa always used to tell me, if you're thinking too hard and you're too muddled, have pie, it'll clear you down." Okay. So they sit down and have pie, and Kay's just like looking at the menu like, And Jay goes, "You know what? He will have the same thing he always has, which is an apple pie with a weird piece of cheese on top of it. And I will have a strawberry rhubarb because it's my last meal and I feel like splurging."
Is that what it's like ordering with me?
Sometimes.
I'm sorry.
Not so much once we pick a place to eat, but before then. Because, like, if we go to wherever, you're like, "Oh, I want that thing. Awesome." It's like, "Where do you want to go?"
There's too many options, okay? We know, like, 30 places.
Well, we could... No. But what you don't do, which I appreciate, is you don't go, "Wherever you want to go." And I suggest something, and you go, "No, I don't want that." So, like, if you ever ask, like, "Where do you want to go?" I'm like, how about here?" "All right, sure." So that makes life easy.
I'm just saying there's too many goddamn options.
I feel you.
My Uber Eats says there's like 250 restaurants. How am I supposed to choose?
Damn this world! So they go eat pie. And Jay's like, "All right, we got to figure this out. We got to go. We only got so much time." And Kay's like, "Kid, you're not realizing how pie works." He goes, "Just sit down and we'll talk. Tell me about yourself. What is it? You got any questions? Just talk about something."
What monster puts cheddar cheese on pie?
Apparently that's a thing. Like sharp cheddar and apple pie.
That's true. They offer it to us when we go and get pie in the before times.
Yeah.
But who does that? Name a real person that does that.
I don't know. Somebody told me once about it. here in real life.
Yeah, I was with you, and they were just like, I think we ordered like a whole pie, and they asked if we wanted cheese with it.
Right,
and
it was for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we went and bought a pie because making apple pie is bullshit.
Yeah.
But you cannot have Thanksgiving without pie.
Yeah.
So you're caught in this weird catch-22 situation. Anyway, they were like, here's your apple pie. Would you like some cheese with it? And we both looked at her like, what in the hell are you going on about?
Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, so he's just like, let's just talk. Talk about something. And Jay's like, okay. And Kay's like you mentioned, we never talk in the, we never talk in the future. Got to figure out why not. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know, tell me about yourself. What is it you do? Like, ask questions. And so Kay's like, all right. Or Jay's like, okay. So this thing with you and O, what's that all about? And Kay, he's like, all right. So one time I was out with, I was protection detail for a group of rock musicians. His name was Mick Jagger, part of the Rolling Stones. I don't know if you've heard of him. And Jay's like, I am aware. He goes, yeah, and she was something to them. I can't remember what. But she was, yeah, we just kind of hung out all night, and we kind of, talked during the day, and we played pool, and we hung out. It was a really nice time. Mm-hmm. And he goes, really? And Jay looks, and he sees, like, the emotion on his face, and he had a good time, and he was happy. Mm-hmm. And he was like, what the hell happened to you? And Kay's like, I don't know, it hasn't happened yet. So these two guys come in, and they're just like, the fucking Mets. They suck. Worst team in the league. Why do we got that? Fucking Mets. And Jay looks to Kane and goes, you know what's funny? The Mets actually won it all this year. And he goes, sure they do, kid. He goes, no, really, they do. Like, in like 2 months, these same guys are going to be coming in talking about what a miracle it is and how great the Mets were. And wait a minute. Griffin said that the ArcNet was like a miracle. Son of a bitch, I think I know where he is. So away we go to Shea Stadium.
And he was like, see, that's the pie talking.
There you go, see, that's the power of pie. So we go to Shea Stadium. Jay gets all of his stuff back because Kay trusts him now. And like they call him up to Griffin, he goes, you found me. He goes, watch, this is my favorite part. And he's like, seems to be watching the game. The place is empty.
And it's the nighttime.
And it's nighttime. And they go, so like you can see what's going on right now? And he goes, yeah, watch. And he grabs a hold of them. And like a tear opens up in the world. And they see the game he's watching. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And he goes, he's about to go back and catch that ball. In another universe, his name is Clara. And he wouldn't have been born if his parents didn't have that one final glass of wine before going to bed that day. And it's kind of a cool little character trait. Mm-hmm. So they show up and they're like, hey, we don't mean to push you, but we gotta get this thing. And he goes, oh, of course, here. And he hands him a Cracker Jack box. And he goes, it's the prize inside. And they open it up, and it's the ArcNet. And so they're like, awesome, we did it. So Griffin has it, and he is immediately snatched up by Boris on a motorcycle. Like, it's just like, we did it. Now we can, shit!
One of the things I like, while he's being snatched up by Boris on a motorcycle, it's just like, I always forget to check.
Yeah. It's like, well, I guess we gotta go catch him. So Kay throws down 2, like, I'm gonna say unicycles, but that's not what I mean.
Okay, so they're circles.
They're big tires where you sit in the middle and drive. They exist nowadays.
What are they called?
I don't remember, but they're gyroscopic, so you can... Okay, so this is a reference. It's not this, but it's this. Do you remember that episode of South Park where Mr. Garrison creates a vehicle called the It?
No.
Okay, some of you will get that. It looks like that, only with less dildo steering.
I was about to say, you're going to say dicks, aren't you?
I am going to say dicks. So that's what it looks like. They drive off after him. And they kind of chase him around. And eventually, they, as Jay and Kay are driving, Kay goes, "Hey kid, in the future, do we ever do the Texas two-step?" And he goes, "Yes, sir." And they drive around, they grab Griffin off of the bike and onto theirs, and they kind of steer Boris into horrifically crashing. Somehow he survives, but he drops, does he drop the arc net?
Yeah.
Griffin picks it up. But he survives and escapes. So Boris needs a plan B. So he goes back to his younger self, and they team up with each other.
It's very weird.
It is. Like, it's just Jermaine Clement playing off of himself.
And it's weird.
And it's weird. And he goes, "Nah, you fool. You..." He goes, "We need to work together." And he goes, "Why are you missing an arm?" He goes, "Because that rotten cage shot it off." He goes, "Yes, but that was you. You failed. I haven't yet." He goes, "Yes, what's your plan?" "My plan is to go in there and take them all out one by one." It's a good plan. Didn't work.
It's all weird.
He's weird for the sake of weird. Honestly, it's a good like character. But I don't think they found a villain better than Vincent D'Onofrio in the first one yet.
No.
Because Vincent D'Onofrio was just like disgusting to look at, and he was just like a wild sort of presence.
I don't know why I am more intimidated by a giant cockroach than I am by basically the Reavers from Firefly.
Exactly. Like, to me, Serlina was boring, and Boris is just kind of like funny.
Serlina was offensive, if anything. Yeah.
Jay and Kay get Griffin to like an out-of-the-way place, and they give him the ArcNet once again. And they said, all you have to do is deploy it in space. It gets a lot bigger. He goes, "Well, how are we going to go to space? Nobody's ever been to space." Guess what day it is? We went to the moon in 1969. Not 1968, but a year after. That's a reference for you.
In Cape Canaveral.
We're going to Cape Canaveral because it's July 16th, the day we launched for the moon. What Kay did was stick this sucker onto the top of the spaceship, shot it into space, and when they dislodged, it fell off and became a net. So we gotta go to Cape Canaveral. And Jay is like, "Okay, we are not going anywhere. I'm going to Cape Canaveral." And Kay is like, "Why?" He goes, "Because you gotta believe me on this one. I'm gonna go alone." And Kay is like, "Cool, try to stop me." And Jay goes, "Cape Canaveral is where you die." And Jay is like, "Pardon?" Boris is gonna get there, he's gonna overpower you, and he's gonna kill you. That's why I'm here to stop. So if you don't go, you can't die. So Kay comes right up to him and slaps him in the face. And he goes, "That's for lying to me." And he slaps him again. He goes, "And that's for telling me the truth."
Griffin, meanwhile, is like, he has to go. It's part of history.
Yeah.
He has to be there.
Yeah. In any timeline where everything works, Kay has to go. And Griffin tells him that. And Jay's like, "Why? Why does that make sense?" And he says that where there is death, there will always be death, no matter what timeline you're in. Heavily implying that if not Kay dies, Jay has to. One of them will die if they go there. So Jay has this moment where he's like, "Man, that's how it's got to be." So they go back to MIB because they got to figure out a way to get to Cape Canaveral. They're in New York. Cape Canaveral's in Florida in like 5 hours. So they go to MIB and Jay and Kay talk. And Kay's like, "Hey, if we survive all this, me and O, does that ever work out?" And Jay says, "A wise man once told me not to ask questions you don't want the answer to." And Kay says, "That was me, wasn't it? I told you that, didn't I?" So they're like, "All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take jetpacks." And Jay is like, "Not in a million goddamn years. We're not taking There's a reason we don't have these in the future. Because we're going to die. We just take the car. Because we can't drive from New York to Florida in under 5 hours." He goes, "Yeah, we can. We can hit the red button. It turns into like a mega car. It hasn't been invented yet. We don't have a red button."
Son of a bitch!
So they get on to like the jetpacks.
And Griffin is just having the time of his life. He's like, ooh, jetpack!
Yeah, and he gets on. He's like, yay! By the grace of Deus Ex Machina, we arrive in Florida just in time.
Okay, we should also mention jetpacks are not what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
They are not backpacks with jets. These are what looks like the top of any spaceship. Like they're cones.
I was going to say, it looks like a little
cones.
rocket engine.
Yeah. Strapped to your back. If someone said, strap yourself to this thing, I would be on Will Smith's side and go, no.
Not in a million years, no thank you. And it's like, you actually can like stand on it.
Yeah.
And it's, you put it on and away you go.
And the only thing holding on to, by what I could tell, is like a seatbelt. Like,
yeah, it's not, it's, no thanks.
No. Jay's got a point.
Yeah.
You guys have warp drives. You are MIB.
I was gonna
Use
say,
a warp drive.
Not by now, they don't.
No, there are aliens. Aliens have warp drives.
Yeah, but we're already here. By the grace of Deus Ex Machina, which if you look at my notes, because I use a voice-to-text speech, it says, by the grace of DSX Monkey. J and K make it just in time to where we're going. And as they go, like, they travel into the place, Griffin goes, oh, I'm so grateful this isn't the timeline where we exploded. Mother... Okay. So they walk, and they're in, like... illegal airspace. Like, they can't be here.
Yeah, this is a military base.
Yeah.
Like, it launched from a military base.
So the MPs show up, and Kate takes out an old school neuralizer, and it's got a battery belt, and it, like, has a dial-up, like, ka-chong, ka-chong.
Like, this goes on for a solid 2 minutes of him trying to fire this thing up, and I'm like, oh my god, what is...
It's pretty funny. And Jay goes, you know what? I got it. He puts on his glasses and takes out his future neuralizer. And Griffin goes, no, wait. For this to be the future that you need, the truth has to be told. And they're just like, what? That's dumb, though.
That's real dumb.
So
dumb.
So the bad guys show up. And they're just like, who are you? What are you doing here? And Jay's like, hello, officer. My name is Agent J. This is Agent K. This is our buddy Griff. We come from a secret government organization to protect the planet Earth from aliens. What we are currently doing is need to access to the spaceship to put this ARC simulator, on our ARCnet, onto it to save Earth from a future alien infestation. They're immediately arrested.
Yeah. Thrown on the ground, handcuffed. Griffin's still cheery as hell.
Yeah. So they haul off to the general. The general is a very, like, tall, statuesque black dude. He is, like, ready and, like, gunning. And he goes, what made you think that it was a good idea to come onto my base and sneak around like that? And so they're just like, and Griffin's like, we have to tell the truth. So they tell the general what's going on. It's like, we need to put the arc on the tip of the rocket, and we need your help to do this kind of thing, or else we're never going to get there, and we're going to, he's going to die, and we're all going to be doomed in the future. And so they immediately get arrested again. Like, double arrested. He's like, take him to the brig. And Griffin goes, wait, no, let me show you something. And he grabs the general by the arm.
And his eyes turn blue.
Yeah, and he goes, whoa.
He ripped a hole in space and time to show the general, I can only assume, everything.
Yeah. And the general goes, okay, everybody leave them alone. I'll take them. And they're like, what? He goes, you heard me. It's an order. Okie dokie. So they walk through, it almost looks like, not like a sewer pipe, but like a pipe to...
Underground tunnel thing.
And Griffin is like, okay, this is great. This is where I have to leave, though. And Jay's like, why? Like, you've been doing well. We just keep you along. He goes, no, you guys don't need me anymore. Just remember, when Kay shoots Boris's arm off, you leave. When he shoots his arm off, that's when you leave.
It'll reset the timeline.
It'll reset the timeline. Once you're there, you don't need to do anything else. That's it. We're done. And he goes, all right, man. Are you sure? And he goes, absolutely. We're all good here. And he goes, okay, am I ever going to see you again? And Griffin's like, who knows? In some timeline we might. It's like, all right, man, see ya. And he walks away, and Griffin just stands there smiling, and then his smile drops. And he goes, I can never bear to watch this part. So you're just like, ah, boy. So they get into the elevator of the rocket. Just J and K. The general's still back down there. J and K are taking the elevator up. And J is like, hey, so if we succeed here, I'm gonna leave pretty quickly. So, this might be it. And Kay says, well, if this doesn't work, I'm dead. So we're gonna leave pretty much quickly no matter what. So they're like, so I guess win or lose, this is kind of the last time we'll see each other. And Kay goes, yeah. I see why I recruited you.
Aww.
You're a good man. And Jay, takes a second and he goes, what the hell happened to you? And Kay's like, still don't know.
Hasn't happened
yet. And then this nice moment is cut to ribbons because in comes fucking Boris.
Boris.
And he arrives, he grabs Jay and rips him out of the thing. This is old Boris. He rips him out and run up the thing. Up the rocket.
Kay's still going.
Kay's still going. He's just like, I guess I'll stay here. Kay goes up to the very top and he runs to the tip of the rocket. When he's stopped by younger Boris.
Who's like, Arcnet.
Yeah, and he tries to stop him from doing that. And he knocks the arc out of his hand and it kind of slides. They're on a very thin, bridge kind of thing.
Yeah, they're on, what's that thing called? A crane?
Yeah, okay, so
crane arm?
You've seen rocket footage before. It's that thing, that giant elevator thing where they ride up to get into the rocket.
Yeah.
That whole issue that just gets knocked to shit when the rocket takes off.
Yeah.
That's what they're on.
And Kay is standing on that little piece that juts out from the statue.
Yeah.
That's touching the rocket.
Yeah, it's very thin, so there's not a whole lot of room. And they're kind of fighting on top of it. Young Boris is shooting at him. Young Boris has a... Is it the needles or is it a gun?
It's always the needles.
It's always the needles. Kay's got the gun.
Yes.
Right, sorry. I just saw this movie, and it's a lot of stuff in my head. So they knock the arc out of his hand. That sucks. Jay escapes old Boris, and so old Boris tries to shoot Kay from afar. So Jay hits old Boris in the hand with a wrench. No. So...
Is Kay's foot stuck in a thing yet?
Not yet. So Jay kind of brings up old Boris for a one-on-one fisticuffs. And so he runs after him and Boris sticks out his hand and shoots Jay 3 times in the chest. Killing him, essentially. And so Jay, he realizes this and he runs forward and he spears he spears Boris off of the thing and they plummet to the ground. So Jay takes out the little time tuner and waits for it to fill up, hits the thing, and they reverse back in time to before he got shot.
Yeah. Which is, he stuck him in a time loop.
Yeah.
He's cheating, and I love it.
So they rise back up, and, he's unshot.
Yeah.
And so he runs after him again. And so Boris shoots at him again. This time he ducks all 4 of them.
Left, right, left.
Catch, what up? And he goes, that's impossible! And he says, what does he say? He goes, let's just call it improbable?
No. I don't know. I don't remember
He says something. And this time, he gets up to him and he's like, that's impossible. And Jay is like, sure you can! And uppercuts him, knocking him off and down to the ground.
Where all the fire from the rocket is.
Yeah, I believe the fall killed him. That's wrong. When the rocket... Sorry, go on.
No, and he's just screaming, that's not possible all the way down. And here I am thinking, you have a time tuner too. What?
Well, why don't you do it?
Why don't you fit... We would have a time loops off. That would be fun.
Yeah.
But no, he just...
Yeah, he falls and hits the ground, and then when the rocket does eventually take off, he is incinerated.
Yeah, so that's just gonna happen. Forget about old Boris now.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, Kay and young Boris are doing the shooting next to each other. And he sees this whole thing and he grabs the arc. And he's like, I did it! I'm better than myself! I did it! I'm the one! And so Kay shoots him and blows his arm off.
Yeah, he shoots one of the fuselage things that nitrogen's his arm off or something.
So he drops the arc, and then he shoots him again, and he plummets to the ground.
Yeah.
And in Kay's mind, he killed him. He didn't arrest him, he killed him, just like Jay told him to. Kay grabs the Ark, puts it on the shuttle, and they both race to get off this thing.
Yeah.
Jay kind of has a moment where he like looks at the Ark and it needs to like reboot for a little bit. So he's like, I also have to get off of here. So Kay gets on this like zip line thing and zips down to the bottom where the general is waiting. And the general is like, hey, what happened to your partner? And he goes, he went back home. And he goes, how? He goes, beats me.
Meanwhile, I would like to point out the astronauts are like, if we say anything, they stop the launch. I didn't see anything. Me neither.
Me either.
So I just think it's funny that Neil Armstrong is seeing 2 different alien fights and just like, ooh, didn't see anything. I just want to go to space.
Yeah. So Jay gets into a similar thing and kind of scoots down. Kay and the general go to this other place far off, and there's like a little car waiting for them there.
Yeah.
And Kay looks to the general and he's like, hey, you're pretty damn good at all this. He goes, yeah, thanks. And he goes, if you ever want to, see this kind of thing more, I know a government agency who could really use you. And he goes, thanks, I'd love to, but I really can't. He goes, yeah, that makes sense. And then, like, young Boris comes through the thing and shoots the general dead.
Well, he was aiming for Kay, but the general tells him, it's quick on his feet.
Yeah, he pushed him out of the way.
Because he's the fucking general.
Yeah.
And was just like, look out, and he shoots him.
And so the general pushes Kay out of the way, saving his life, and gets shot and killed. And then Boris is just like, nah, now you have to arrest me, Kay. Kay's like, do not. Boom! Kills him, cold blood.
Exploding. Goo everywhere.
And Jay, who is far, far away and is just kind of watching, he's like, yes, that is my partner. And so Kay's like, whew, I did it. And then he hears a voice from the car. And it says, Daddy? And he looks, and there's a child.
Oh.
And you're like, oh, boy.
Oh, no.
And so he runs up and like turns him away. He's like, hey. He goes, where's my daddy? He goes, your daddy, he had to go away for a while. He's doing something very, very special. He's on a very special mission. And he goes, will I ever see him again? No, unfortunately it doesn't look like it, but he sent me to take care of you, like my own special friend. What's your name, kid? And he says, my name is James. And Kay kind of looks and he goes, all right, James, let's get you out of here. It's young Jay! What? So Kay turns to him and he goes, don't worry. And he neuralizes him. And he goes, he sent me to take care of you. He goes, we're going to make things okay.
All you need to know, kid, is your dad's a hero.
Yeah. It's like, whenever anybody asks, all you need to know is your dad was a hero. And he stands up and he kind of leads them away.
Want to go on a walk with me? Yeah.
And it was baby Jay. That's why his dad, like, he doesn't have any memories of his dad.
Because his dad died when he was young,
Yeah.
and then he got neuralized to believe that his dad was always at work.
Yeah. So Jay sees this. He doesn't interact, but he sees this. And he has this moment just like, that's why he didn't want to tell me anything. Which is kind of strange. It's not much of a...
It creates a weird loop, though.
Yeah.
Like, if we killed Boris in this timeline, how the hell did Will Smith get back in time to... Like, there is some weird time loop involved in this.
Yeah.
And also, why didn't he recognize Will Smith in the future?
He probably did.
You think so?
That's why he picked him. And that's why he was so gung-ho for him. Despite the fact that really all he did was chase down an alien.
Yeah.
That's why he was so, like, 100% gotta get him. Because of this. Which kind of makes sense.
You think so?
Yeah. So, no muss, no fuss. We jump back to the present day. And Jay walks into an old diner where Kay is listening to Jay-Z and Alicia Keys' Empire State of Mind. New York, concrete jungle, wet dream tomato, nothing. And so Jay sits down next to him, and he's like, "Hey," and he goes, "Hey," he goes, "How much do you know?" And he goes, "What am I supposed to not know? How am I supposed to know what I don't know?" And he goes, "Okay, did we go to Woo's last night?" He goes, "Yeah." "Okay. Did you call me last night?" "Yeah." "And you hung up on me." He goes, "Okay. Okay, thank God." And he goes, "Look, you're not going to tell me everything, and that's okay." And he takes out his watch that his dad gave him, and he sets it down on the table. And he goes, "But there's some things I know now, and I understand more than that." And Kay's just like, "Yeah. And Jay's like, "And now there's some things that I know that maybe you don't know too much about." So they get up and they leave. And we go over to the left, and there's Griff.
"Hey, buddy."
And he's like, and he looks directly to the camera, and he goes, This is my new favorite moment in human history. Unless it's the timeline where Kay forgot to leave a tip." And he looks over, and Kay forgot to leave a tip. And we cut to space, and there's an asteroid hurling towards us. And, like, he looks panicked. He's like, And then Kay comes in and drops money down. Looks to him, and he goes, "Almost forgot." And then, like, the asteroid goes and collides with a satellite. And Griff looks back to the camera, and he goes, "That was a close one." So, Jay and Kay are back together. Kay survives his time loop deficiency. He's opened up a little bit more, and Jay now understands the mystery of his childhood. Everybody's happy. Curtain down. I like this movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It is much better than the second one. Not as good as the first one. But if this was the sequel, like if 2 didn't exist and this was 2, I would be way more happy with this franchise than I am.
That's true. It would be significantly better. Like, we aren't weirdly having to parade models around, though there was a model scene, but it's okay. It was art.
Yeah.
And it was Warhol, I
guess.
It
was Warhol art.
MIB headquarters is weird, modern. Like, if you imagine modern furniture, like that egg chair that no one should sit in.
Yeah.
That, like, they modeled.
That's what we're doing here.
Yeah. I don't like it. Apparently, one of my favorite behind the scenes gags was there was a pic. Lady Gaga's on the Megatron there, and it says their space name and their name, and it just says Lady Gaga, and then in quotes again, Lady Gaga.
Justin Bieber's on there too.
See, I told you.
But yeah, you know, it's. I was saying this has the emotional core that 2 just didn't. I don't know why Tommy Lee Jones wasn't in this movie as much as probably he should have been. It could just be age. He doesn't want to, do that kind of thing anymore, which I get.
To shoot all his scenes in one day.
Which he did.
Yeah.
But this is more akin to what the series should be. It's an interesting plot. It all kind of made sense. Time travel's hard to write, and they didn't super mess it up.
Though it doesn't make much sense, but okay.
Yeah. So, it's like I said, it's not as good, but it's much better than the other one. I'm going to go with the 6.5.
Yeah, that sounds right.
6.5?
I was going to say 7, 6.
I was thinking, 6, 7.
Like, it's well made, it's well shot, the lines are reasonably funny.
Yeah.
I mean, we forgot to give them a new memory when we neuralized these guys.
Yeah.
It's semi-historical accurate, I guess. Like, we didn't whitewash the past, right?
Yeah.
There's no black people working at MIB because even in 1969, people were racist. O was a secretary.
Yeah. But now she runs the bitch.
Now she runs the bitch.
The
bit with Zed's funeral was not great.
Yeah, that was confusing. Like I said, the movie starts off kind of rough.
Yeah, the first 30 minutes of this movie are very suspect.
They're hit and miss, but
that whole thing where he gets the time travel thing, not a fan, because it's not really funny, and then they make a weed joke at the end. Like,
yeah, they're talking, and he goes, "Yeah, we got to make this work, but first we got to get high." And Jay's like, "Come on, man." He goes, "No, it's a time jump. We have to get high." And they go up to the building.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
No.
Yeah, that whole scene is a real hit or miss.
The Chinese restaurant scene is also deeply suspect. I don't know where I stand with it.
It's not racist, but it is uncomfortable.
Yeah, I will have to commune with the Asian Council about this.
Understandable.
We tried to beat a man with his own baby. Not fun. Fan of that.
Yeah, we never really realized why Kay was so antsy, outside of the fact that maybe he realized that Boris was still here, and...
Like, but why would he come after Wu? What does Wu know?
Yeah, like, I don't know, he's just kind of angsty. Here's the other big problem. Mm-hmm. Men in Black 1 had the seminal Will Smith hit, Men in Black.
Yeah.
By Will Smith. Mm-hmm. Men in Black 2 had the very solid follow-up. Mm-hmm. Black suits coming, parentheses, nod your head. Mm-hmm. Or perhaps nod your head, parentheses, the black suits coming. Uh-huh. Solid song, both by Will Smith.
Yeah.
This third one had a song called Back in Time by Pitbull. How dare you! I'm sure Pitbull is a nice, upstanding individual, Missa Worldwide.
Is he, though? He doesn't... strike me as the type to tip.
Well, yeah. He gives me a very Mr. Pink vibe. But, I think at one point, he did a thing where, the vote for where my next concert is. Uh-huh. And he put anywhere in the world. Uh-huh. And so Internet Jerks sent him to Alaska.
What an asshole.
And so he went. Yeah.
I mean, all right.
It's clear. It was Alaska. It was Antarctica. It was something like that. And it was clearly the thing was suspect.
Yeah.
He was okay, that's what they want. I'll go there. So he seems like a good guy. He was on every song. This movie is made in 2012. Pitbull was everywhere.
Where did he go? I couldn't get away from Pitbull then, but
now he's just nowhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Where'd he go? Where did Mr. Worldwide go?
Well, he was all party music. He was all,
Did he take the party music with him?
I was gonna say, he was all upbeat, very, party heavy, and we're just not in a party mood as a world right now.
No, but we need it. We need it now.
I understand. It's one of those things, I was so sick of Pitbull, now I wouldn't mind a little Pitbull.
We were so sick of Pitbull, and then Lorde came, and everyone decided to be a sad girl. And now, ever since Lorde, I was just Lorde was great at it, and now everyone wants to be Lorde, and I am so over it.
Nobody's as good as Lorde.
I have been over it for 5 years.
Yeah.
I need some goddamn party music. BTS, where are you, my boys?
Dua Lipa, you're hanging in there.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Pitbull, let's get this party started. Where are you? Who are you, dude?
Yeah, so, the song is not good.
No.
It's got a decent,
I mean, if you're pumping out songs every 2 weeks, it wouldn't be good either.
Yeah, it's got a decent, sample with the Dirty Dancing sound, which is fine. But then it goes into a weird, dubstep ending. It's not good.
It's not great.
I believe it's called Back in Time by Pitbull, which is not in the film. I didn't listen to the credits, but it's not here, and it's just a marked step down. I was hoping Will Smith would grant us with another theme.
Yeah, he was too busy trying to convince his son that he is in fact a musician.
Yeah,
drinking it out of my summertime, Emmy.
Eating cereal out in my summertime, Emmy. But yeah, so this is the last in the trilogy. With Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. And now we move on to Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Valkyrie.
Yeah. I'm just going to call her Valkyrie. That's all I
was going to say, it's not Tessa Blanchard.
You can Google.
Oh my God, I can't believe
Point is, we're going to go on with Thor and Valkyrie on a magic space adventure.
Which...
also known as Iron Man 25.
Yeah, right? Tessa Thompson, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Tessa Blanchard's a wrestler, and my mind has been pretty, it's been a big wrestling week, so.
It's okay, Kelly.
Yeah, sorry, Tessa Thompson, who's a great actress. Chris Hemsworth, great actor. But I guess this movie's a shit show, and I'm scared. I am heavy duty scared. So,
Took me 20 years to find you. many people can say that? You are the best kept secret in the universe. And I found you, which makes me perfect for this job.
You really think a black suit is going to solve all your problems?
No, but looks damn good on you.
Oh snap! Oh snap!
We will deal with that next week when we come to it. And then we start off on a whole new series.
Have you decided? Have we decided?
I think we have decided. Do we tell them now or do we wait till next week?
We wait till next week.
We wait till next week.
Tune in next time.
Tune in next time to find out where we go from here. If you want to talk to us somewhere else on the internet, I am on Twitter at EmptySquare, EmptySquare, cutes.
I'm at Aquadia _. The underscore is really important. Don't forget it, or else you're subscribing to someone not me.
Exactly. If you are so inclined to keep listening to us and you're like, hey, this is great on YouTube, but I sure would like it on Spotify, we got you on that one. We are on Spotify. You can check out Binging with Badness with the little blue guys with the Binging with Badness logo. You'll know it, you'll see it, you'll love it.
I am obsessed with people talking about me. I'm an attention whore like that. So, like, use a hashtag, leave a comment, leave a like. Literally hit any button for me to know you're there. Listen to me.
Listen to me, we're so alone.
We're so alone, it's quarantine. And I need to know humanity's still out there. And you're wearing masks and getting vaccinated.
If you are so inclined and you got money burning a hole in your pocket, you just got that stimmy, and you're just like, money for everybody, I'm going to throw it at some podcaster's face. You can catch us on Patreon, patreon.com/EmptySquare, EmptySquare. The link is in the link tree down below. You get all kinds of stuff. You get extra nonsenses, bloopers, side conversations. Sometimes we just talk and nobody stops us.
Yeah.
And I have to cut it out because it does not fit what we're doing at all.
Yeah. Or you just hear the sound of my dog just running around. Like our dog just being like, hey, stop podcasting and pay attention to me.
Yeah, so you get all that kind of stuff. You get to see podcasts early. You get to see scripts I send up. I just released a new episode of the Brightwall podcast. That is available on this very channel or on Brightwall on Spotify. You get stuff for that. You get free stuff. If you are so inclined, past a certain, I think it's $15 or more, we will dedicate a whole episode to you.
Yep.
And if you really got the money and you want to throw down $100, we will review whatever movie you want.
Yep.
Within reason.
Yep.
We have full and complete veto power, but we're not going to veto too much.
Yeah.
As long as it's not, slaughtered vomit dolls or something like that.
What weird Mad Lib thing are you?
It's a real movie. Don't look it up.
Okay.
So we got that. If you want it, you got it. And we will give it to you. But until next week, is there anything else?
Get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated, wear your mask. We're almost through this thing.
Yeah. This movie's pretty good. I mean, if it's on TV, give it a watch.
Yeah, watch it. We got it on Stars.
Someone tell Pitbull to come back with the music.
Yeah.
We need more music.
We need more music.
No more of this sad boy stuff. This is over. We gotta keep up the beat, cause damn.
All right, guys, we love you.
Okay, I love you. Bye bye.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.